Hey guys, so not so happy Monday. I know a lot of you are aware of my current situation with my family. Um, but I still want to, bring my full self, my full energized self, but I do want to acknowledge that I'm not in that headspace I usually am. But we're gonna keep rolling with the Monday motivation because I feel like that's really important, especially in the under the circumstances I'm under. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this week's topic. And don't mind my appearance. I have been working really hard this week on getting trained up on my job, and I have just basically transitioned from the couch, from studying and reviewing some stuff, and basically sitting down and doing this video. So, full disclosure, I'm not, looking too hot, but we'll keep going. So, this week I am bringing in yet another topic that has been covered recently at my work and in my training. So this week I'm going to be talking about character strengths. There are 24 character strengths, which can be broken down into 6 classes of values. Now, I'm not going to review or go over these individually, because I do want to challenge you all to take the VIA survey. The VIA stands for Values in Action. This is a survey on character strengths, but at some point I do encourage you all to give that survey a go, and I'm going to drop the link to that in my post, so keep an eye out for that. So my goal this week is to just talk about character strengths just from like a general standpoint, and then for you all to do some investigative work on your end to really understand it at your own leisure, using that survey I mentioned before. So, in the work that I do, I appreciate a strength-based approach, which is just looking at and drawing out the strengths of others so that they can use those more to their advantage, which, how I see it, will ultimately be their internal guide to excellence. Now, as you all are aware of by now, I like to stress how important positivity is and always looking at the positive in life and not dwelling so much on the negative or shortcomings in life. So, what your core strengths do is it shows you and reminds you that you have these tools in your toolbox at the ready to utilize and resort to in any given situation. So the faults and the issues that you see in yourself can always be combated by these strengths. So I don't want you to, bottle up your strengths. You have to take control of them and be prepared to, be effective with them. So we all have strengths. It's just a matter of what strengths are more prominent than others, or maybe even figuring out what strengths you do have, but you just aren't using them enough. Now, I want to pause for a second. I know I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going through a family situation, and I kind of just want to use this as an example of how I can use character strengths in this particular situation. Although I'm going through this difficult situation, I still want to be able to use my character strengths, because these are going to help me and others overcome the situation, or at least help mitigate some of those hard moments. So for me, a character strength that I most, or I find myself tapping into the most, is my faith. So allowing my faith to shine through and just bring peace and comfort to the situation. Another great strength I like to tap into is my playfulness and humor. So although my situation is heavy, I still want to bring light to the situation and make others laugh and smile, to again alleviate, some of those hard moments. So again, that's just kind of like a brief example of how your strengths may be able to be used in a less than ideal situation. So remember, your character strengths, they can be used in both a positive and a negative situation. And you also want to be careful to, be careful of your shadow side. That's what we like to call it. This is when you're overusing your character strengths that kind of hurt you or others in the situation. But I'm not going to get too deep into that. But it is something to be aware of so that you're not overworking your character strength, and you're just kind of staying in line with how it can best suit you in the situation. So the survey that I'm going to link in the post, it is a really great resource just to use to find out what strengths are highlighted within you. And it will also help you realize that there are other strengths that you can start building on and bringing out more. We are all capable of building, creating, and growing this toolbox of strengths and positive tools to carry around with us wherever we go. You just have to bring your attention to them and use them effectively and, of course, appropriately. Be a character strength, not a character of weakness. You don't want to let your weaknesses overshadow your strengths. There is always going to be a strength that can trump a weakness. So lead with strength. Now, for those of you that choose to take this survey, I would love to hear your experience on it. And I also want to note that you will have to create a login for this particular survey, but it really shouldn't be too much of a hassle. But I just want to throw that out there. The survey is 240 questions, 10 questions for each strength. I know it kind of sounds like a lot, but if you know yourself, you should be able to zip through it. So good luck for all of you that are going to take that survey, and I hope to hear how it goes from some of you. So if you have any questions or you just want to chat about your results, feel free to reach out anytime. And thank you so much for tuning in. I know this one was a long one. I didn't intend for it to be, but thank you if you have listened this far. I'll see you all next Monday.